Well, I'll give you your 5 when we're at that time.
On today's episode of What's Trending, we're spotlighting an initiative the Business Council of Westchester is very proud to lead, the Rising Stars and the Nonprofit Partnership. This program celebrates the next generation of Westchester leaders and the organizations making a real difference in our community. We're also diving into an extraordinary feat by one of our own Rising Stars who recently turned a record-breaking bike ride into a fundraiser for our great cause. Joining us today are 2 fantastic guests, Heidi Winslow, partner at DelBello, Donnellan, Weingarten, Wise, and Wiederkehr, and chair of the Rising Stars, and Matt McAllister, Chief Operating Officer at Statewide Abstract, a 2022 Rising Star, and the cyclist beside let me start that again. On today's episode, we're spotlighting an initiative the Business Council of Westchester is very proud to lead, the Rising Stars program and its not-for-profit partnership. This program celebrates the next generation of Westchester leaders and the organizations making a real difference in our community. We're also diving into an extraordinary feat by one of our own Rising Stars who recently turned a record-breaking bike ride into a fundraiser for a great cause. Joining us today are 2 fantastic guests, Heidi Winslow, partner at DelBello, Donnellan, Weingarten, Wise, and Wiederkehr, and chair of the Rising Stars, and Matt McAllister, Chief Operating Officer at Statewide Abstract Corp, a 2022 Rising Stars, and the cyclist behind this incredible journey. What's Trending is sponsored by M&T Bank and Thompson & Bender. Thank you both for your support of the BCW Podcast Network. Heidi, as chair of the Rising Stars, can you give listeners an overview of the program, its alumni, its not-for-profit partnership, for those who aren't familiar?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. I'm Heidi Winslow, and I'm really happy I get to talk about my involvement with the Rising Stars today. Real estate is interesting, but this is fantastic. So modeled after the National Business Recognition Program 40 Under 40, each year, for more than 20 years actually, the Business Council of Westchester has recognized the next generation of outstanding young leaders in Westchester County. Every year we select 40 young individuals that are leaders in their fields who demonstrate their leadership, determination, their passion, and a real commitment to their community. And we honor them every year at an awards ceremony, which Amanda, I'm sure, will tell you a little more about later. And every year we kind of are amazed by who comes before us. They really reflect a diversity of industry in Westchester County. They come from all backgrounds, all walks of life, and they demonstrate talent across government organizations, educational facilities, research, for-profit enterprises, and what we're primarily here to talk about today, our wonderful not-for-profit community in Westchester County, which is bettering our lives and the lives of everyone around us. Now, you might not know this, but the Rising Stars is not limited to just the selection of 40 award winners each year. We also provide various networking events throughout the year, which is great. But I think what the Leadership Council of the Rising Stars is incredibly proud of is been our support of the not-for-profits every year. Essentially, we have a few winners that are reflective of our work for not-for-profits every year. And we have decided to support those organizations in whatever way most fits their needs. So if it's a day of service, or if it's organizing a fundraising event, or if it's supporting an event that's already going on, or adding, kind of awareness to what these great organizations are doing, we try to jump in and help as best we can and tailor the efforts really to what each not-for-profit really needs at that time. And this year, we kind of outdid ourselves, thanks to Matt McAllister and his extreme efforts bordering on insanity to support this year's Rising Stars not-for-profits, which I'm so happy we get to tell you about today.
Yes, and we're going to absolutely get into Matt's POV on the whole cycling experience. And yes, we are very much excited to celebrate the 2025 honorees at the Rising Stars Awards, which will be held on Tuesday, September 16th at Millionaire in White Plains. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, be sure to visit the BCW's website. Looking back on 2024, between 2024 and 2025, the program had 4 Rising Star winners from 4 incredible nonprofit organizations, which is who the Rising Stars alumni supported. So Heidi, can you just give the listeners a little quick overview on each of those organizations?
Sure. And I'm sure everyone will agree that they are certainly deserving of all the support we can give them. The Alzheimer's Association Hudson Valley Chapter, which provides education, support, and advocacy for individuals and families affected by dementia across 7 New York counties. Feeding Westchester, who works to end hunger by distributing nutritious food to children, seniors, and families through a network of over 300 community partners. More Dance, a trailblazing ballet company that uses dance to amplify diverse voices and address pressing social and environmental issues. And the YWCA, White Plains and Central Westchester chapters, which empowers women and families, especially those impacted by poverty, racism, and trauma, by building community, driving schematic change, and supporting overall well-being. As you can see, these organizations span the spectrum of need in our community, from health to food support to cultural enrichment. They really are doing a fantastic job.
Their work is just tremendous for the community. And so, Matt, as a member of the Rising Stars alumni, a member of our Rising Stars Leadership Council, you took your commitment to this partnership to a whole new level. You recently completed a 215-mile solo bike ride from New York City to Boston, absolutely smashing the previous record and really leading the effort to raise over $8,000 in total for these 4 organizations. So tell us really what inspired you to take this element of the partnership on.
We'd probably need a psychologist in here to unpack the actual why of my
That'll be the next
psychosis,
episode.
I guess. Yeah, but I've been training and racing in like endurance sports for probably over 10 years. And over the course of that time, kind of figured out, if I'm willing to inflict maximal damage to myself, people are willing to support that with some charitable contributions. And this year I was not putting a race on the calendar and was looking for some sort of adventure race or something just unique to do, and kind of stumbled on the fastest known time website for cycling. Saw there was a New York City to Boston. So that kind of lined up with easy to do, no travel really, flying wise. And it was right around that time I was asked to be a part of the Leadership Council for selecting the 2025 Rising Stars. And I guess getting involved more in that space and seeing everything that goes into it all behind the scenes. It was just really all like the perfect timing for, hey, why don't I tack on the fundraising to support the Rising Stars non-for-profit initiative this year. And we ran with it. Yeah. I mean, we did a really good job with the fundraising, over $8,000, which is more than double than I was ever able to do by myself. So I think that really speaks to the BCW's engagement with the whole thing. So it was, a really good day out, big day out.
Absolutely incredible. And the ultimate challenge accepted. So we are so proud of you for doing this. Take us through the ride itself. You know, we did not get to come with you in terms of.
Nobody did.
So, it really was a solo ride. So what went right? What caught you by surprise? What was going through your head before, during, after? Take us on the bike with you.
It all starts really a few days before. It's a pretty big logistical thing to plan too. So I have to start. It started in Central Park and finished in Boston Commons. So I'm starting Saturday morning. I rolled out at 4:30 in the morning was my start time. But so I was able to actually, the Friday night, I got to Manhattan, stayed at a friend's apartment. So I had to have that all sort of set up and just get there. And there's a lot of sort of stress and anxiety about before that happened. So probably not the best company to be around. You could ask my wife. I just also kind of just like steeling yourself against the whole thing that's about to happen. I mean, I know from prior experience what I'm getting into to a degree, but there's always the unknowns of the whole thing. 215 miles leaving Manhattan at 4:30 in the morning, straight north into the Bronx, which was, I knew I was kind of like in for it then. That's when everything was really like, the juices were flowing. And I've come to kind of say that it was not early in the Bronx. It was still late. right? Because there was people out like all over the place on the corners in late night spots, like eating or whatever, still drinking, hanging out. So I felt like I was escaping the city under the cover of darkness, just like, who's that guy? And then I'm just gone down the street, right? And I could tell.
Just like Batman.
Yeah, for real. And then, it just starts to feel like a normal Saturday morning. I'm in Westchester, coming in towards the coast of the Sound, Mamaroneck and Larchmont, Rye and Portchester. Everything's feeling good, rolling along, Greenwich, Stamford, and tracking towards Hartford. So I went right into and right out of Hartford, which is the dead middle point, 107 miles.
Wow.
So that's, that in and of itself is a very big bike ride. I might do a 100-mile ride 4 times a year, right? So it's not like I just casually do those all the time. So at that point, I know, okay, it's really kind of getting underway. And also now I have a planned stop at mile 120. It's starting to get hot, right? And so that was definitely, I knew that was coming, but it starts to impact the whole just general effort of the whole thing, trying to start mitigate the heat. So I had that rest stop was pretty fun. Anytime I stopped and went into like a marketplace, that's what I did. So it was like gas station marketplaces for food and water. Whoever was working there was always just like, what is, you know what I mean?
What is he doing?
Yeah, I look a fright coming in there, like covered in sweat, and it's like already starting to be a little shell shocked from the road. So I just kind of stumble around in there looking at candy and pretzels and soda, whatever. And yeah, from there, then that's when it got really challenging. So probably 120 to 190. So that 70-mile block accounted for about half of the climbing on the route. So then it got the road itself got the hardest during the hardest part of the ride. That was a good challenging spot. It's almost like I was just that's when it becomes really mental, right? Obviously the physical aspect of this is super challenging, but in order to compartmentalize the fact that you've been riding for 10 hours and you have 5 hours to go, you can't even think about that really, I guess. It's just, you just stay fully just locked into that present moment. Everything was going smooth really though. Navigating the difficulties of the physical and mental was all good, but then the most difficult part hit. So 25 miles to go, all of a sudden I'm like, I guess the sun is setting, right? It's not that hot all of a sudden. There's a little bit of a tailwind. The road's flattening. It's like Boston is approaching, it feels good. I know that I'm going to do victory. It now. Yeah, right. It's there's no question about getting there or not anymore. And then with 17.98 miles to go, the bike computer, which is my navigation, froze.
Oh no.
Yeah. So at that point, my first thought, honestly, is, oh my God, my file. The proof of the ride is gone, right? What are my friends? I won't be able to show this to my friends,
There go the bragging rights.
Yeah, exactly. I'll have done it, but then I realized I don't know where I am. I have 18 miles to go. I have no idea how to get there. So quickly, plan B, take out the phone. I can use my phone. Okay, so that's good. I open the route on my phone. I get it started, but I do not have failure to plan. My fault. I did not have a bike, a phone mount for my handlebars.
So where does the phone go?
It goes in your hand. Where else could it go?
While you're holding
while
the bike
I'm riding.
at the same time.
So after 14 hours,
Boston one-handed.
Yeah. So the final 18 miles into the city of Boston, I had to ride essentially one-handed with my phone in my hand, eyeing down, eyeing up on the road, eye down, look okay, turns coming up in. Okay, yeah, and just so that.
Don't drop the phone.
Don't drop the phone. I seriously almost dropped it once, and I was like, oh my God, what am I even doing out here right now? This is insane. So that was a very tough way to finish mentally. But then, you get to Boston, there's a 4-mile run on one road in. So I was able to drop the phone and finish with my head up and enjoy the final miles in. And I land Boston Commons. There's a huge statue of George Washington there. It was a beautiful summer night in the city, and my wife and daughter were there waiting for me. So they were I finished, stepped off the bike, and we went and got a burger and a beer.
Just beyond impressive. You paint such a beautiful picture, and I love how you say that when you got to Hartford, that in and of itself was just a big bike ride. Yeah. Honestly, probably just from the city to the Bronx would have been a big bike ride for a lot of people. Yeah. So
yeah, it was cool. And and during that process, there was a lot of, it was I guess the most poignant thing from the whole ride was just touring through just the layers of our communities, right? Like, it was a 2-hour bike ride from the Bronx to Darien, Connecticut, right? And it was just a very stark contrast of place and time, and as you're just moving on the bike, it's an interesting way to see it all, right? Because you're going fast enough to cover a decent amount of ground, a lot of ground, but slow enough to kind of like be immersed in where you're at. So it was a cool part of the ride. It was just like the touring aspect of.
You're really just seeing all the layers of what this area has to offer, which is just so incredible.
Very beautiful.
And it must just be, and especially to do it on a bike versus in a car or whatnot.
Yeah,
it just,
you can't really tune out. You're a part of this. You're a part of the scenery.
So beyond this incredible bike ride, you've made it clear that this was more about a personal challenge and about giving back. Right. Can you talk a little bit about your broader philosophy when it came to partnering with the Rising Stars and the support of doing good in the community with this partnership?
Yeah, and I know, like, I don't know. I mean, it seems like it's just like the least I could do, right? I mean, I know it seems crazy, like it's a huge bike ride, but I mean, I just love riding my bike. So like, I went for a huge bike ride. I was happy to have the opportunity to do that, like regardless of anything.
I think you said any excuse to ride the
any
bike.
excuse to ride my bike all day, right? Clearly.
I think he said it was easy to do at one point. So.
I vaguely remember that conversation.
Yeah, easy to start, I guess, hard to finish.
Fair.
But yeah, I mean, it's, I just put the flag up and said, listen, I'm doing this crazy thing. And a lot of people came out and supported that. And I think that's pretty awesome. I mean, if you're in the position to give and you don't, I don't know. I mean, what does that say about you, right? I mean, it's not that hard to get out and volunteer or to donate. And I feel like it's one of those things like working out where you're like, this is super hard. I don't want to do this. I mean, like, there's days I look at my bike and I'm like, what am I even doing? Like, the sun's not even up yet. Like, it's so stupid. But you never like finish a workout and regret it, right?
Very
it's
true.
the same thing. Like, you never finish a day of volunteering and be like, that sucked. There's always some intrinsic, value that you get from it. So it's like a self-serving, selfless act, the volunteering and donating. So it's just something that I feel like is a necessary part.
So once in a lifetime, pencil you in for next year. Should we get a group together to go with you? What are we thinking?
No, yeah.
Next year, one hand behind your back,
the whole
ride.
Right. Yeah. Well, Heidi was joking about next time to San Francisco. Right. But so if I can find a way to get a sabbatical or something, I might need a crew for that. But there'll be something else out there. And hopefully this is the beginning of people realizing that this is a cool thing to do. Right. Yeah. So let's continue to support these nonprofits in any way you can fundraise. I mean, I've done them in the past and made $2,000-$3,000 for various rides and runs. So like more than double than I've ever done thanks to the BCW. But I mean, every little bit helps, when you donate to these nonprofits, they love it. I mean, there are people who are giving their entire, working career or lives to supporting these causes. So, I mean, they're doing the hard work.
Well, Matt, on behalf of More Dance, the YWCA, Feeding Westchester, and the Alzheimer's Association, thank you.
My pleasure.
On behalf of the Business Council of Westchester and the Rising Stars Alumni and the Leadership Council, thank you for getting on the bike and doing this, really. It's just been beyond. So we so appreciate that. And now, Heidi, looking ahead to 2025 and 2026, we'll have our newest group of nonprofits that we're going to be looking as an organization to support. Can you share who we'll be supporting next?
Absolutely. So break out your cocktail attire, everyone, because the event itself is
September
just
16th.
So much fun. It's
so
just
fun.
Truly a rewarding event. And this year we will be supporting winners from 914 United, Steer for Students Athletes, Inc., West Hab, Inc., and Yonkers Partner in Education. So we can't wait to get behind the support for those entities.
Thank you so much. Matt, again, your ride was truly inspiring. Thank you for your incredible support. And to our listeners, if you do feel moved to give, we encourage you to keep supporting the amazing nonprofits we spotlighted today. The GoFundMe page is still active, and we'll include the link in the show notes, or you can reach out to me, Amanda DePalma, at adepalma@thebcw.org, and I'll get you all squared away with that. Once again, don't miss this year's 40 Under 40 Rising Stars Awards on September 16th at Millionaire from 5:30 to 8. It'll be an unforgettable night of celebrating young, incredible professionals in Westchester. And thank you again to our sponsors, M&T Bank and Thompson & Bender.